So hey guys, what's up? It's Fermagic back again.
Is uigo.
So today we want to make a video about overview of the new character, Luna Snow.
So she's the 150th character in Marvel Future Fight. So she's an original character. She's from Korea, and basically she is someone that Marvel originates.
So something that's special about her is that she's the first energy type speed character. We think that she's built for Extreme Lance Battle, and she's gonna take over Quicksilver in Speed Day.
Yes, so basically she has very high damage in her skills, and that since she's using energy attack, it favors our card setup. So because we'll have usually we have more energy attack than physical on our cards, since majority of the damage dealer in this game are energy attack.
So let's talk about her skills for a second. Her first and third skill, it's an iframe, but her third skill is not a full iframe. The last second or so when the ice spikes come out, it's not an iframe. And then her fifth skill is immune to damage, and the other skill is just basically just CC.
Yeah, so skills. She has the fourth skill is an entice, which is basically like charm or fear, because the enemy doesn't attack her and they fled away. And then she has two recovery skills, which is the fourth and the fifth one. They both recover HP, and she has auto attack. When she auto attacks, she recovers HP by around 3 to 5%. Now, the thing that we need to mention is that her T1 passive is very unique, which is having the Encore, the name Encore. She has 30% chance of when dancing sensation, which means the third skill is used, to have reset the cooldown for the first skill. And then there's a chance that when you use her first skill, you reset the second skill cooldown. So that means that when you use the third skill, you may reset the first skill, and then when you use the first skill, reset the second skill.
Yes, I think that's a very special skill, but then it's a bit, it's very restrictive because there's only a 30% rate for it to activate, and during that 30% rate, when the third skill actually activates the reset cooldown, there's only a 3-second period where you can use your first skill that can again reset your second skill cooldown. So the timing there is really difficult to do, I think. And
then it's very, very RNG for her skill, whether it will activate the Encore.
But I think this is a nice and a different passive skill that never will put into the game, where a skill can reset another cooldown of another skill, and then that skill again reset the cooldown of another skill. That kind of increases the skill requirement of the players. And then now to her T2 passive.
So her T2 passive basically increases her skill damage and increases bonus damage. That's basics for T2 passive. And then she has 40% chance of immune to fire damage, which is quite nice. And then increase cold damage by 30% because all her skill are dealing cold damage. So the elemental damage increase from there will basically spike up her DPS and makes her a heavy hitter.
Yes, so then the leadership skill, it's quite useless, to be honest. The increase all speed 6% is useless. 30% immune to cold damage is useless as well.
Because there's not many cold damage dealer in the game. It's just Loki and Luna Snow.
But I guess
primarily.
The good part is it can trigger the theme song. Is it a good or bad part? I don't know. But it's kind of like something different than what NetBubble was trying to do, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, the theme song is actually pretty good. But then it's very original, I would say. Original.
Yeah, so this is the skill overview. Now we'll talk about how she will perform in our recommended build in PvE.
Yeah, we want her to do in ABX, so PvE. So we want an offensive build for her. So ISO, basically offensive ISO, power rank with Hulk, overdrive or Hawkeye if you need cooldown. And then the gear part, the custom gear part, will recommend if you have CTP. I think that the CTP of energy is prime for her because her skills have a lot of hits. The chain hit damage will increase by a lot with that. But then, because her kit doesn't have super armor, so she will guard broken from a skill from the force piece. So you may also consider not getting the CDP of energy, instead go for immune to guard break, cold damage, or ignore dodge, because the force piece in the speed they have have dodge, a very high dodge rate, and then a damage proc on her. So it's just depending on your skill and whether you have the CTP or not.
So if you have a few CTP in your infantry and you want to go for maximum extreme lance battle score, you should put energy CTP on her, because it gives her the chain damage bonus. It also gives her ignore dodge. But then if you don't have the CDP and you want to just kind of score a decent score in extreme lance battle and sort of use her in PvP situation as well, then you should go for immune to guard break, and then ignore dodge or cold damage with damage proc. That should be good enough.
Now her team setup in Speed Day, we can finally use Misty Knight as a leader, because Misty Knight offers 60% of cold damage. So that's a very huge spike to her DPS, combining with her own T2 passive, so you have 90% right off the bat. And then now the third person you can get like X23 or Gwenpool. I recommend the whole of them because they are the strikers of Lunar Snow, so they might just come out and hit a few enemies.
So we don't recommend her for PvP, because she's going to take over Quicksilver in Extreme Lance Battle Day, and she doesn't have super armor. She's gonna get guard broken, so she just need immune to guard break. So unless you have immune to guard break for her, she's kind of useless in PvP situations. And even though if you use her as a PvP, which is okay, I guess, we just do not recommend you do so. She's nowhere near a meta character. She's just the sort of a decent conquest character, even bad character in timeline.
So because she doesn't have any PS skill, which like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch or those have, so she cannot be meta. She cannot be on top of the game, because she'll get pierced when you're invincible, and her recovery is actually pretty nice because she have 3 kinds of way to get her HP back up. But then you need to trigger the skill and you need to guard break, so you need to have very specific build, I think, if you really want to use her in PvP. But then I think that we'll recommend that she'll go for a ABX PvE as a better option.
So if you decide to use her in PvP, you can get her a CDP of Destruction, Authority. If you don't have CTP, you can go for immune to guard break, plus again some maybe cold damage, max HP, invincible obelisk for her.
Now then, the immune to fire damage, the 40% from her T2 passive, will be actually pretty nice in Conquest, I think. So she could go against like Satana, which got the very nice uniform, which you can have 40% immune to her, and then Ghost Rider, Inferno, and Raghout. These fields are pretty good Conquest damage dealer, but then she can't be against like Jean Grey's because she's just too powerful for her.
Yeah, so I see people say that maybe Lunar Snow is sort of a counter to Jean Grey, so it's not gonna happen. Okay, she's not a counter to Jean Grey. Jean Grey is gonna one-shot her.
Yeah, with the 5th skill, nothing can stop the 5th skill.
Yeah, is no way near a counter to Jean Grey. So now we're gonna talk about the predicted rotation for Lunar Snow in Extreme Lance Battle, because she's still a new character. There's no like the dominant rotation or correct rotation yet. But
we are all still like testing her.
Yeah, but we just kind of summarize all the videos we've seen, and we're just gonna tell you what rotation other people use, and also what we think that the correct rotation should be.
Now, from the videos that we saw online, we know that one of the rotation we've seen is to use the 2nd skill and then the 1st skill, which then you proc on the 2 skills, because her 1st skill can be cancelled, and the 2nd skill has a long animation that when the tornado comes out, you can just use another skill, and then the 5th skill and then the 1st skill, rinse and repeat. So the skill, and then in that video we can see her scoring 500k. So it's a very high score for it, which is basically higher than what Quicksilver can get without an energy CTP.
Yeah, but that video, it's just a testing video. Like we see the video in the title said, it's just kind of a testing video. The Lunar Snow is not fully built yet, so she can definitely score more in that video. But then we also think the rotation in that video is not the best,
because we think that she has a very high potential of skill chaining or skill canceling.
Yeah, we think that she can play in like a similar way as Apocalypse, where she proc on many skills at the same time. So what I think should be the rotation is 5th skill cancel, 4th skill cancel, 1st skill cancel, and then 3rd skill.
Yes.
Let the 3rd skill play out entirely, and then just proc on the 3rd skill while the 5th, the 4th, and the 1st skill is it's
they're
attacking
playing,
in the background.
So similar to Apocalypse, using 4 skills together, and then just kite around.
Yeah, and because we go 5C, 4C, 1C, and 3, and C, and the 3rd skill have like a 30% chance of resetting the cooldown of 1st skill, so there's a 30% chance that you can just kite using 1st skill, because 1st skill is an iframe.
Yeah, and it's a very short cooldown for the skills as well, so you can just use the 1st skill to kite around and then just do the rotation again, aiming at the frostbite and proc the damage proc.
Yeah, so the highest score we see for now, it's 710k.
So that's an extremely high score for a very new character.
Yeah, that's a really high score for Speed Day as well.
Yeah.
And the score is definitely going up because it's just the first day.
Yeah, and then like Quicksilver, around the highest score is around like 680k or 700k.
Yeah, and Quicksilver generally just does not have a huge DPS.
Yeah, Quicksilver, his skills hit a lot of times, but then doesn't have very high attack.
Yeah, so Quicksilver relies on piercing and high attack speed and high attack rotation and all that, but he's just not a high DPS character. So definitely, I think that Lunar Snow's ceiling might be around like 900k to maybe 1 million. I think it's possible.
That's about it. I think that.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up here. So see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.